Now, students, discussing about the medical management is actually a little dicey here. Why? Because like I said, I'll be discussing mostly about stress incontinence and about urge incontinence. Now, the mechanism of stress incontinence and urge incontinence is a little different. So the management will automatically be a little different. See, stress incontinence is basically because of an inherent problem in the urethra, which is fixed mostly by anchoring the urethra or by giving it a support. So basically the management of stress incontinence is more surgical as compared to medical. I hope you'll agree with this. Then talking about urge incontinence, there is some inherent problem with the urinary bladder, the detrusor muscle to be more specific. Like I said before, when we were discussing about the theories, the postulates about why exactly is there urge incontinence, what is the problem? So of course, apart from the mental problems, cognitive problems, and the CNS lesions and the drugs that a patient is on, the psychological problems that a patient is having, there's another very important factor is that the detrusor muscle's overactivity or oversensitivity to certain stimuluses plus certain chemicals. This is manageable through medical management. So when I'm talking about the medical management, it is more designed for the urge incontinence rather than stress incontinence. And when I'm talking about surgical management, it is more so designed for the stress incontinence as compared to the urge incontinence. In fact, it is said that why this is very important before surgery is that you should know the patient is having pure genuine stress incontinence or she's having detrusor muscle overactivity or overactive bladder or urge incontinence, as many of the names of about urge incontinence. Why? Because if you do a sling procedure or a tape procedure or a suspension, a burst corpus suspension for a patient who is having an overactive bladder already, the patient is going to have worsening of the symptoms. So we are now talking about management, and that is where this important stuff you need to know, that when you're giving a medical management to the patient, see, it's always easy to withdraw. It's easy to stop. If she's not getting fine with it, maybe you can think about surgery. In that case, you can go in for a... But once you've done the surgery on a patient, it's very difficult to tell the patient, to explain the patient that despite of my operative intervention, the cost that you went through, the surgery that you went through, the anesthesia that you went through, the problem, instead of getting fine, getting fixed, is in fact even worse. So very important is you to have this clear concept that when are you going to give a medical management, when are you going to give a surgical management. Always do the surgery till you are totally satisfied that yes, this is the patient, the correct candidate for stress incontinence as compared to urge incontinence. There is some problem with the urethra in which we can fix it by giving a sling or a suspension to it. So let's now talk about the medical management for urge incontinence, as I said before. See, in this segment, I will be giving you notes on the particular medical management that I have. I've made it beautifully. I've made it very precisely. Also, in which you can write down not just the pharmacodynamics about the different drugs that I'm about to tell you, but also you'll have enough to write about the different brand names which are available in the market, so that by the time you finish off this chapter, you can start prescribing drugs as well. So anyways, the idea behind giving medical management is, like I said, remember before, one thing you should remember in your mind is that parasympathetic system voids and sympathetic system retains, relaxes. So any drug that either kills the parasympathetic signals or improves the sympathetic system is going to help this patient. So that is the reason why you have anticholinergic drugs. The mechanism of action is basically to act on the acetylcholine and all the receptors of acetylcholine and cholinergic receptors, and you are set to go. There are many drugs in this category which I'll be providing in the notes, but the basic idea about anticholinergic drug is that you're killing the parasympathetic system, which is responsible for voiding the bladder. You're trying to make the bladder a little more quiescent for the patient to have lesser episodes than she was having before, to decrease her humiliation or her discomfort in public places where she cannot immediately void and she cannot have an access to her to a bathroom. Then comes a tricyclic antidepressant. antidepressants. See, when you're talking about sedative action or tricyclic antidepressant action, you're hitting at the most important center of the brain, which is responsible for this micturition reflexes, and you're quieting it now. That's the idea behind tricyclic antidepressant. Then you come to selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors. What you're trying to do here over here is epinephrine, that is norepinephrine, epinephrine that is responsible for the sympathomimetic action. Sympathomimetic action, that means retention of the or relaxation of the bladder, and in which the patient can relax and her bladder can get filled, and she might not have those episodes which she's having. And then in estrogen, see, a lot of work has gone behind this estrogen thing, and earlier a lot of high dose estrogen was earlier given, but that a lot of trials were done. The trials are given in your book, and finally they found that giving systemic estrogen for just allaying one particular topic of a patient is not worthwhile. Instead of that, local estrogen creams like Evolon cream came into vogue, can be given to the patient, and it also is helpful for the local action, specifically if there is a problem in the proximal urethra or urethral end. Problem is there in causing the cystitis, inflammation, burning sensation, and a feeling of voiding again and again, or dysuria. The Evolon cream will also help in quite a bit. So if you want the notes of this medical management, my students will obviously get. The other ones can of course subscribe to my classes to get all my notes and all my lectures. And with this, I finish with the medical management. My next segment is a very interesting segment, because I'll be discussing about the stress urinary incontinence and the various surgeries which are designed to help give support to the urethra so that the stress incontinence does not take place. So